Chapter 138, Understanding the Fusion Method and Greatly Increasing Strength. Sumu and his two companions stared vigilantly at the entrance of the space. The noise grew louder, accompanied by heavy footsteps, and a group of figures slowly appeared before them. It was the spirit balancers who had been repelled by Sumu earlier. Somehow, they had caught up again. Sumu this time, nowhere to run.
The spirit balancer leader 咬牙切齿, his eyes flashing with venomous light. Sumu looked at the spirit balancers, thinking to himself, after the previous battle with the mysterious spirits, although his spiritual energy was greatly depleted, the information he had just obtained from the mysterious stone tablet gave him a deeper understanding of the fusion of time-reversing and spatial spiritual energy. Perhaps he could use this to repel the spirit balancers once more. Spirit balancers, you are obstinate. For your own selfish desires, you attempt to disrupt the balance of the spirit fantasy realm. Today, I will not let you succeed. Sumo declared loudly, exuding powerful confidence. The spirit balancer leader snorted coldly. Stop talking big. Do you think mastering some spiritual energy fusion skills allows you to conquer us? Today is your last day. With a wave of his hand, the spirit balancers quickly spread out, surrounding Sumo and his companions. Sumu quickly exchanged a glance with Grandfather and Lin Yan, and the three Mozi ally prepared for battle. Sumu struck first, unleashing the newly understood time-reverse spatial shuttle slash. His body vanished instantly, reappearing amid the spirit balancers the next moment. The longsword in his hand, condensed from time-reversing and spatial spiritual energy, shimmered with colorful light as he slashed fiercely at them. Seeing this, the spirit balancers quickly cast defensive spells. Spiritual shields instantly lit up, forming a solid defensive network. However, the power of Sumu's time-reverse spatial shuttle slash exceeded all expectations. The longsword easily tore through some of the spirit balancer's shields, and a streak of spiritual sword ki left several balancers injured and Daodi. Grandfather waved his staff, casting Spirit Thunder, Annihilation Prison. Dark clouds instantly filled the sky, lightning intertwined, and thick bolts of lightning, carrying destructive aura, struck down at the spirit balances. Hit by the lightning, they screamed in pain, and their defensive formation fell into brief chaos. Lin Ying, meanwhile, unleashed Spirit Shadow Moon Illusion Kill. His figure darted through the spirit balances like a ghost, and each swing of his spiritual longsword sent out a silver moonlight-like sword ki. Wherever the ki passed, the balances scrambled to dodge. The spirit balancer leader, seeing the tide turn against his side, flew into a rage. All of you, hold your ground! Activate the spirit balance combined array, he shouted. At his command, the spirit balancers quickly readjusted, drawing close to each other. Their spiritual energies connected, forming a massive spiritual array. The array glowed brightly, exuding powerful spiritual fluctuations, and the balancer's strength was greatly enhanced under its influence. Sumu, meet your end! The leader, standing at the array's center, condensed a huge spiritual battle axe in his hand and hacked fiercely at Sumo. The axe, carrying immense force, tore a black rift in space as it passed. Feeling the overwhelming power of this strike, Sumu quickly cast the ultimate enhanced time-reverse spatial shield. Runes flickered and blazed on the shield's surface, with time-reversing and spatial energy intertwining to form an unbreakable defensive barrier. With a thunderous boom, the spiritual battle axe slammed into the shield, erupting in dazzling light and powerful spiritual waves. Sumo was sent flying backward by the impact, crashing heavily to the ground. Grandfather and Lin Yun were also affected, quickly casting defensive spells to steady themselves. Xiaomu! Grandfather cried out in alarm. Sumo struggled to his feet, a trickle of blood at the corner of his mouth, but his gaze remained firm. Grandfather, I'm fine. This spirit balance combined array is indeed powerful, but we must find a way to break it. Sumo quickly studied the array's spiritual energy flow, searching for flaws. In the heat of battle, he noticed that despite the array's power, there was a brief gap in spiritual energy at its convergence center. Grandfather Senior Lin, I've found the array's weakness. When I draw their attention, concentrate your attacks on the spiritual convergence center, Sumo said. Grandfather and Lin Yuan nodded in understanding. Sumo took a deep breath, casting time-reverse spatial illusion raid, creating multiple illusions of himself that charged at the spirit balancers. The balancers, seeing the many illusions, redirected their attacks toward them. Sumo took the opportunity to sneak toward the array's convergence center. Grandfather and Lin Yan acted immediately. Grandfather unleashed spirit flame's scorching tide, a surging wave of flames rushing toward the convergence center. Ling Yun cast spirit winged rending blade storm, countless sharp wing blades swirling within the flames to amplify their power. The spirit balancers sensed Sumu's group's intention, trying to strengthen the defense at the convergence center. But Sumu's illusions distracted most of their attention, leaving them unable to mount an effective defense in time. With a thunderous boom, the flame tide and winged blade storm struck the convergence center. The spirit balance combined array flickered, cracks spreading across it. No! The array is breaking! A spirit balancer shouted in panic. The leader's face paled. He hadn't expected Sumo to find the array's flaw and strike. Hurry, repair it! He yelled. But Sumo would not give them the chance. He unleashed Time Reverse Spatial Shatter Fist, slamming a powerful punch at the array. A colorful fist aura formed from time reversing and spatial energy struck directly at the array's cracks. With a final boom, the spirit balance combined array shattered completely. The spirit balances, hit by powerful spiritual backlash, fell to the ground. No! The leader roared, his eyes filled with bugan and fury. Sumu looked coldly at him. Spirit balances, your scheme will not succeed. Now what have you to say? The leader struggled to his feet, a jeer glint in his eyes. Humph, don't be so smug. We won't give up. The force behind us is incomparably powerful. You can't escape forever. With a wave of his hand, he led the remaining balances in a retreat out of the space. Sumo did not pursue. He knew the spirit balances would return. After this fierce battle, he had a clearer understanding of his strength and a stronger resolve to stop their plot. Shao Mu, you did well. But the spirit balances won't give up easily. We must find a way to counter them quickly, grandfather said. Ling Yun nodded. Indeed, that mysterious stone tablet might hold more key information. Let's study it again. Sumo agreed, and the three returned to the stone tablet. He concentrated, trying to glean more clues about time-reversing energy and the spirit balancer's conspiracy. Bathed in the stone tablet's runic light, Sumo gradually entered a strange state. His consciousness seemed to merge with the tablet, and ancient scenes flashed through his mind. Ancient cultivators merging with time-reversing energy, displaying its various powerful applications. He also glimpsed vague images of the force behind the spirit balancers, a shadowy, mysterious organization that sought to use time-reversing energy to break the spirit fantasy realm's balance and seize control. So that's it. The force behind the spirit balancers is truly evil. Sumu opened his eyes, a trace of worry in his gaze. It seems our challenge is even more daunting, grandfather said, his expression 凝重. Ling Yun frowned. We must plan carefully. This organization, aiming to rule the realm, must have elaborate plans and immense power. Sumo nodded, his gaze firm. No matter what, I won't let them succeed. Our priority now is to strengthen our strength and uncover their exact plot. The three continued studying the stone tablet, seeking more key information to counter the spirit balancers and their backers. Sumo focused, immersing his consciousness again in the information flow from the runes. In this mysterious mental space, the runes shifted and flickered, gradually outlining ancient spiritual techniques and cultivation methods. Sumo was delighted to discover an ancient cultivation method that could greatly enhance control over fused time, reversing, and spatial energy, enabling more powerful techniques. Sumo immediately tried channeling his energy according to the rune's guidance. Time reversing and spatial energy coiled through his meridians like two agile spirit dragons. He carefully guided them along specific paths. As they flowed, Sumo felt a deeper connection to the surrounding space, as if he could manipulate its time flow at will. Grandfather and Ling Yun watched anxiously. Sumo's body blazed with spiritual light, colorful energies intertwining and powerful waves rippled outward. Grandfather nodded. Xingwei, this boy never ceases to surprise us. Mastering this power will greatly improve our chances against the balancers. Ling Yun, meanwhile, kept watch for another balancer attack. Let's hope he finishes quickly. Time is short. We don't know when they'll return. Sumu lost track of time, absorbed in cultivation. In his mind, only the perfect fusion and elevation of time-reversing and spatial energy existed. Finally, after arduous effort, he mastered the ancient control technique. He opened his eyes, a flash of light in his gaze, then stood and clenched his fist, feeling the surging power within. Grandfather, Xingya Lin, I did it. This technique lets me control fused energy more precisely and unleash new moves. With that, Sumu quickly formed hand seals, casting Time Reverse Spatial Distortion Vortex. The space before him Niuchu instantly, forming a huge colorful vortex where time and space energies jiaozhi, roaring. Where the vortex passed, the ground cracked, and the air shrieked as if torn. Grandfather and Lin Yun were amazed. Shao Mu, this move is devastating. Using it against the balancers would deal heavy damage, Grandfather praised. Lin Yuan agreed. Indeed, this surpasses your previous techniques. The stone tablet truly holds endless mysteries. Before they could discuss further, violent spiritual fluctuations erupted outside, sounding like a major battle. Sumu's group paled, sensing trouble. Did the balancers gather more men? Ling Yun frowned, serious. Sumu's eyes hardened. Whoever it is, we can't wait. Let's check it out. The three rushed to the exit. Emerging into the ruins' main passage, they saw spiritual light flashing as robed figures fought the spirit balancers. The robed ones' techniques were eerie, each move carrying a sinister aura. Their clashes with the balancers erupted in bright light and powerful shocks. Who are these robed men? Why fight the balancers? Grandfather wondered, watching the battle. Sumo frowned, studying their moves. I've never seen their techniques. They're not with the balancers, but their motives seem untrustworthy. At that moment, a robed figure, after a brief clash with the balancer leader, suddenly turned towards Sumu's group. A strange light flickered in his eyes, then he darted toward them. Be careful! Sumu shouted, casting Time Reverse Spatial Shield to protect Grandfather and Lin Yuan. The colorful shield ninju instantly, runes glowing with strong defense. The robed man was extremely fast, reaching Sumu in a blink. A black spiritual longsword appeared in his hand, and he slashed at the shield without hesitation. With a boom, sword and shield collided, sending powerful waves. Sumo staggered back, feeling immense force. Who are you? Why attack us? Sumo demanded, steadying himself. The robed man said nothing, only laughed sinisterly. Before the laugh faded, he struck again. His sword now gorged a thick black mist, funfu able to devour all. Sumo dared not underestimate him, casting the newly learned Time Reverse Spatial Distortion Vortex. A colorful vortex formed before him, sweeping toward the sword. The sword slashed into the vortex, instantly ensnared by its twisting force. The robed man's expression changed. He tried to pull back, but the sword seemed locked by an invisible force, impossible to free. MPH. Impressive! The robed man Leng Heng. His robe fluttered, and his spiritual energy surged, trying to break free. As they stalemated, several spirit balancers noticed the commotion and rushed over. Stop them! Grandfather waved his staff, casting spirit flames scorching wrath. Blazing flames surged toward the approaching balancers, who quickly raised shields to block. Ling Yun joined the fight, casting Spirit Shadow, Thousand Illusion Sword. His figure multiplied into countless phantoms, each wielding a spiritual sword, attacking both robed men and balancers. The battlefield grew chaotic. Sumu had to fend off the robed men while guarding against balancer ambushes. He knew they must end this quickly prolonged battle would be disastrous. Sumu focused entirely, pushing time, reversing, and spatial energy to their limits. He integrated the stone tablet's control technique into the Time Reverse Spatial Distortion Vortex, amplifying its power. Break! Su-mu roared. The colorful vortex contracted sharply, then Baofa with greater force. The robed man's sword shattered into fragments under the impact, and he was sent flying, crashing to the ground. The spirit balancers, seeing their ally injured, paused briefly. Sumu shouted to Grandfather and Lin Yun, "Now break through while they're disorganized." The three coordinated, unleashing their strongest moves to charge toward the passage exit. The balancers and robed men tried to intercept, but Sumu's group, with their strength and teamwork, broke through and fled deeper into the ruin. They ran pinging down the passage, the sounds of pursuit fading. But Sumu knew this was temporary. The balancers and mysterious robed men would not give up. Who are these robed men? What's their grudge with the balancers? Lin Yun panted, running. Sumo shook his head. I don't know, but they're clearly interested in time-reversing energy or something in a ruin. We must find a way out and uncover their motives to plan our next move. Grandfather agreed. Shao moves, right? You can't act blindly. Stay vigilant. They slowed, exploring cautiously. Strange symbols and patterns appeared on the walls, resembling the stone tablets' runes. Sumo guessed they might hold the key to the ruins' secrets or a way out. Be careful, these symbols might hide traps, Sumo warned, scanning the surroundings. A massive stone door suddenly appeared ahead, covered in glowing runes, Suhu whispering ancient tales. Sumu's group approached, searching for a way to open it. This door is extremely heavy. The runes seem to convey something, but I can't decipher them yet, Sumu frowned, studying the door. Grandfather and Lin Yuan also examined it, but found no clues. Just as they despaired, Sumu noticed Aoxian patterns on the ground below the door. They matched the spiritual energy flow he'd learned from the stone tablet. Could it be? A thought struck Sumu. He channeled time-reversing and spatial energy into the patterns, following the remembered flow. As energy poured in, the ground patterns blazed, and the door's runes lit up. Slowly, the door swung open, releasing an ancient, mysterious aura. Beyond lay a huge circular space with a spiritual altar at its center. An artifact glowing softly rested on the altar, surrounded by a spiritual halo with flickering runes exuding powerful, mysterious energy. Is that what we're looking for? Grandfather asked, hope in his eyes. Sumo nodded. Likely, its power is closely linked to time-reversing energy. But stay alert. Danger may lurk. The three approached cautiously. As they neared, the artifact's light brightened, as if welcoming them. Suddenly, a deep roar echoed, and a massive spirit beast emerged from the darkness. Resembling a Killen, it was covered in rune-adorned scales, its red eyes blazing with powerful spiritual pressure. It dinged Sumu's group, roaring as if warning them away from the altar. Trouble again. Lin Yuan gripped his weapon, serious. Sumo took a breath. We must get that artifact. It might be our only chance against the balancers and robed men. Be careful. This beast is strong. Don't fight head-on. Find its weakness. A new battle loomed. Could Sumu's group defeat this powerful beast and claim the artifact? How would they fend off the balancers and mysterious robed men? All remained uncertain, leaving one anxious for their fate. The story continues, with more excitement to come. Subscribe soon!